Hi, and welcome to another reading with me, Leenna. So today we're doing one for our future spouse watchers, and this is the quirks of my future spouse. So this is a super quick reading, and hopefully we'll get some physical as well as other quirks about your future spouse. So let's get into the reading. We're going to start off. Sorry, before I do that, let me tell you what your choices are. So you've got the Chrysophase, you've got the Apatite, and you've got the Honey Quartz. So it'd be Honey Calcite. So we're going to start off with the Apatite. Sorry, what is wrong with me this morning? This is actually the second time. We're going to start off with the Chrysophase. This is actually the second time that I'm recording this, because I tried it yesterday afternoon and we had this big storm, and it got too dark and I couldn't use the videos. So you've got Chemistry, Page of Fire, Five of Cups, Judgment. So I'm not going to be reading the cards as they are. I'm going to be doing this almost more like a channeling. We're going to choose an animal card, and we've got the Caribou. Authoritative, traditionalist, outdoorsy, quiet and wise. And then one of my own cards, the do-it-yourself tarot. We've got the Hanged Man. So they have a very sort of elfish face and a very sort of naughty smile. They're almost like a child, or they have very childish mannerisms. You can see like she's kind of like almost like pulling her own pigtail or hair, and they have like exaggerated expressions, like, you know, almost like cartoon characters at times, and they may actually say or do things that their favorite cartoon character would do. But on the flip side, they can also dress up well, and then they have all these cartoonish mannerisms, kind of like Brendan Fraser in some of his earlier movies, or cartoon characters. They also kind of very quickly brush off things and don't often take things too seriously, but they are also, they like switch. Sometimes, you know, like when they're not working, they go into that kind of very childlike, playful kind of phase. But at work, they kind of really dressed up and very traditional. I know this says outdoorsy, but I feel that they prefer to be indoors. They're very much into tech. They normally like to wear flip-flops or sliders, and they, you know, you can hear them like dragging their feet in their flip-flops or sliders around the house. And they like very clean environments that give out onto a garden or someplace like that. Those are their kind of favorite places, their favorite kind of coffee shops. And you'll always find them sitting almost like just on the inside or on the patio and that kind of thing. But they always have a piece of tech with them. So another quirk is that their hair grows very long and straight. They always have a fringe, and they're always either pinning it up, or they are kind of maybe wearing a headband or an Alice band, or, you know, when they can't do that, they're always flicking their hair out of their face. Even if they are a guy, they just do the hair flick. Okay, so that is what I have for you if you chose the Chrysophase, and this was the quirks of your future spouse. So let's go on to Apatite. Let's see what we have for you. The quirks of your super spouse, your future spouse. I keep calling them super spouse, even yesterday. So maybe we are going to get super spouses. But very quickly, their quirks. And let's pick their animal card. This is someone who often goes through fads. So their quirk is that they're following the latest fad. We've got dolphin, playful, frivolous. There, I said it. Frivolous, A little mean, depends on reputation, spiritual and talkative. And then we have death, transformations, endings. So they're very sexy, and like I said, they're always on trend, whatever's going on. They could be a fashionista kind of person. They're always very passionate about the latest trend that they're following. They could be influencers, but what makes them really quirky is that is their external or their projected persona or their social media persona. When you actually are around with them, they're very much more simpler. They're very spiritual, and they could probably dress very differently when they're just chilling and relaxing. They may wear very flowing, comfortable, even shapeless clothes, and wear a lot of crystals, wear a lot of tribal signage or tribal symbols, or anything that they feel very spiritually connected to. But even when they're in their sort of influencer mode, they will still wear one piece of jewelry or one, I want to say, artifact. They could even have a tribal tattoo or a cultural tattoo, and that is always displayed, not always prominently, but as a symbol of who they are. And one of their quirks is if they're feeling very vulnerable, or if they're not at their highest in confidence, they will stroke or touch that symbol as a means of making them feel better. They also go through, like I said, because they kind of faddish, they always change their look. And one thing that they don't change, though, if they wear makeup, they always have the smoky kind of eye effect, with the brown the brown kind of eyeshadow with the very prominent kohl or mascara. Their quirk is they have one vice, and that's it. So they could either smoke but they won't drink, or they would drink but they won't smoke. If they do other recreational drugs, they wouldn't drink or smoke anything else. If they eat meat, and then they probably won't do any of that. So they have like one vice, and that's it. But there may be times when that changes. So they're always changing what they're doing and trying to find the perfect way of being. Physically, their hair is very luxurious, and it's got a curl that is very unusual, and they hate it. They're always trying to cut it out, or they're trying to incorporate it into into their hairstyle, but it always kind of sticks up. It could be at the top of their hair, actually, so that they have, if their hair is very short, it always looks like a mohawk, even if they're not wearing any hair gel. Or it could be a cowlick as well, in their fringe. So if this person may always have a hair straightener handy to kind of sort out that curl. So that could be one of their quirks. So that is what I have for you for option number 2 for the Apatite and your future spouse's quirks. So let's go on to the Honey Calcite. Let's have a super quick look at your future spouse's quirks. Oh, doesn't want to be shown today. And let's see what we have. We've got stay optimistic about your love life, the Chariot, Four of Pentacles, High Priestess. The High Priestess twice. It's the first time today. It's the first reading of today that we have a repeating card. So we have, okay, this one wants to come out, the Wheel, and then we also have, so this person has like amazing posture. Then we got Donkey, indifferent, accepting, hardy, stoic. They have amazing posture, a very straight back, no curvature. They're very graceful in their movements, and they have this funny thing where they would seem to be rooted to one spot, and the next minute they're across the room, and they've moved so fast or so quietly that you haven't actually noticed that they've done that. They may not look strong, but they are very strong. They are very well dressed for wherever they are, and it seems that no matter what the weather is and no matter what what they're doing, they're always dressed appropriately. Sometimes you may wonder if they have a wardrobe in their car boot or trunk. Their quirk is also that they're very intuitive and they're very knowledgeable about a whole lot of things, and especially the esoteric, and they can really intimidate people that way sometimes, because they know such a lot about such a lot, and they're also very they work with whatever the situation presents to them. So in physical quirks, they may copy yours. I feel that they tried very hard to get rid of their quirks, to kind of drill it out of themselves if they did have any mannerisms or quirks, and because their ambition was to fit everywhere in every situation, but also kind of not draw attention to themselves. So if they do show you a quirk, it's probably mimicking yours. So if you kind of like make a mole, is it a mole or a mouth? When you kind of like make your lips small and round, they may do that if you're if you're thinking, and it could be sometimes to make fun of you, but at other times it could be that they're just kind of mirroring you. And also if you tilt your head a certain way, they may tilt their head and they kind of mirror you. They mirror your quirks back to you. But I don't think that that's their quirks. I don't think they actually have much of a quirk, except they have a very sort of unreadable face. And they have that funny way of moving, where they would seem kind of well settled and rooted to a spot, and then you take your eyes off them for a moment or two, and then suddenly they're across the room or much further away than you thought possible. So it could be that they're quite tall, or they have a very long stride, but and they move very softly. But when you look at them, it's not obvious. So yeah, I think that's their quirk. They may seem geeky at times, and at other times it's more for, I don't know, this could be that this person or these people have very different personas that they show at different times. So it depends on that. They could be in theater, or they could be an actor or actress, or they could be even a voice artist. So they're always putting themselves into different characters. And it could be that they develop or practice or mimic quirks based on whoever they kind of playing or studying at that moment. So interesting one for option number 3 for the Honey Calcite. That is what I have for you for the quirks of your future spouse. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you soon in the next one. Stay safe and keep those vibes high. Bye.